What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, RedOptionAgency.com, 23 years. Selling full-time on eBay. We got baby girl in the house, Courtney. We got Pee-wee in the record room, chilling. And Monday morning. It's just another manic Monday. Had a hard time getting out of bed today. Whew. Got up at 2. Pee-wee needed to go out. I just couldn't fall back to sleep. So it took a while. So it took a while to get up. So we're at 9:40 a.m. right now. And we're going to see what yesterday did and see what the week did. And then get the stuff shipped out. All right. First, yesterday. This is the clothing store. Yesterday did $2.99 in the clothing store. So $2.99. And $4.64 in the other store, in the media store. So what, $763? So kind of shy where I wanted to be. But let's see what the week did. The number to beat was 869 average for the week, for last week. All right, so dag, man. Because of those days on eBay that just totally screwed everything up. All right. Going with the media store first. $3,313. 3312.93. Down 7.5%. We were doing so good too. So good. Quantity sold 293 items for an average sale price per item of $11.31. And the average price per order is $17.53. 189 buyers. So that's about average. But yeah, not good. 3312.93. Top 5 items in the media store last week. Number 5 is DVDs and Blu-rays. $178, down 43% there. Number 4, video games and consoles. $275, that's up 25%. Number 3, vinyl records, $494, that's down 16.5%. Music cassettes, number 2, $653, that's up 36%. And music CDs, of course, number 1, $973, that's down 35%. And video game boxes is the honorable mention at $145. So, bummer. Clothing store last week. $2,508, well, $9 rounded. It's up 2.3%. So, yeah, so overall we were down. We weren't headed that way. Man, that sucks ass. So a grand total of $5,821 divided by 7. And we are down now. So 869 was the number to beat. 832 is the number we were at. We were doing so good up until like, what was that, Wednesday and then that Friday. Totally, or was it a Saturday? No, I think it was Friday. Totally just destroyed everything. Dang. We were over 900 most of the days. Boo. Average price per item over here, 140 items, $18 per item. Divided by 116. And $21.63 for the item per order, or the average per order. So. Top 5 items over here. Minor League Hockey comes in at number 5 at $84. Number 4, Major League Baseball, $175. That's up 49%. Men's athletic shoes, number 3, $180. That's up 41%. Men's t-shirts, number 2, $196. That's down 21%. And hats, $1,043, up 13%. So t-shirts was down. I took some pictures of t-shirts last night, so we're definitely hitting t-shirts, some more t-shirts. It's the only one that's down over here. So haven't put t-shirts up in a long time, so definitely need some t-shirts. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So 869 is still the number to beat for this week. And we'll just keep listing. Keep listing. I don't have too much going out this morning. I did ship some stuff already that I don't know why he didn't ship it last night. It was just sitting here, so I just moved that stuff out of the way and pulled what I had to this morning so far. So, what do we do? What are we doing for today so far? So we're 15 till 10, 9:45 that is. We're at $63 in the clothing store and $125 in the media store. So closing in on $200 at 10. So that's better than it has been. So yeah, Wednesday was the bummer day and Friday. My media store is down 3.5% in the last 31 days. Whoops, clicked the wrong button. No, I don't need Spotify open. And my clothing store's up 10%. So we're still up overall. Definitely the media store seems like still the most volatile account. I don't know, Friday on the clothing store was the worst day in the last 31 days. So the Wednesday, Friday situation, that really screwed me. Friday on the media or the clothing store was the biggest screw job at $134. My lowest days, Monday, Sunday, Friday. And those are all correlated with updates. They do updates usually Sunday night. I've seen it on Saturday night, and they definitely do it on Thursday night. So they all kind of play into that, the major update days. Who knows? Alright, since I got a late start, let's just get this stuff shipped so I can get things moving, get myself moving. We got McCoy Construction and Forestry hat. Sold for $10.50, headed to Chandler, North Carolina. I'm trying to think if anything happened this weekend that I need to talk about. Cody. Next up, another hat. We got this flag, heart flag hat with a little mark on it, but it's in the picture. Sold for $6, had to Daytona Beach. I'm sure it'd come out with a little water. I don't really have nothing on my mind, really, that I can think of. We got this Lotus hat, Work the Web. It sold for $14, headed to Palo Alto, California. Michael. We got a rubber duck, the Frankenstein duck. Sold for $4.50, headed to Oldsmar, Florida. Probably just put you in a... Why is this order up here? Probably needs resurfacing, putting it up there to... These all probably need to be resurfaced. I got to do that first. Because there was so much stuff packed over here. I just didn't have room to put it. That'll be a fight out here. Fit in here. Ducky. That's it. Two. Bethany. Man, I don't know if that's itchy. Costa Maya, Mexico hat. Sold for $10.50, headed to Birmingham, Alabama. haven't really found my wake up juice today, I guess. My mind's not working properly yet. It's just kind of chill, slumbering still. Best Friends Animal Shelter hat. Sold for $10.50. Headed to Indio, California. Drusilla. I did make a statement yesterday. I walked into the kitchen. I'm like, Jan was in there. I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to really enjoy all this again. Kind of like when I started. Like just all the it's just, all the last 10 years and then the last 3 with eBay being such a mess. And you guys know what has happened in the last 10 years here. So if you're a long-time viewer of the channel, and then the stress that came with like Pee-wee trying to, that was something new and something to deal with, but everything's felt very calming for quite a while now. And I think that like in the last 3 weeks, the fact that the eBay numbers have been going up. I mean, we do know it's tax time, so that could have a lot to do with it also. Unfortunately, over website issues, because we could see this past week, 2 of the days, the website issues just totally destroyed things. But I feel like God, Pee-wee's farting. Guessing it's Pee-wee. I'm just really starting to totally enjoy it all again. Like, not just enjoy it all, but I never noticed that before. Pitney Bowes com price, no surge charge. Has that always been there? I just never noticed it. And I'm sure probably spring has a little bit to do with it, even though the weather's been kind of wacky here and haven't been able to do much. But even with Pee-wee's issues, now that it's not as stressful because we know what to do, have action plans, all that kind of stuff, right? Have not letting eBay site issues really mess with me emotionally or anything like that. Which obviously, as we talked about before, is always when you're in a stressful headspace, it's very easy for just the littlest thing to take that level up, you know. But being that I have no stress right now, it's just everything's been just like calming, getting more and more calming and enjoyable again. Not that it wasn't, it's just, it's like, it's almost like another stage of bliss, if you will. I know that sounds weird, but several orders sell since I pulled, so that's at least good. One going to Germany. But everything just feels in control now. Like even a few days ago, my mind started going back to like my dad and him passing and stuff. And I was able to look at the positives over the negative, right? The passing and stuff. And then, like, you know, a few seconds later, whatever again. And I kind of noticed it when I had done I got a little wet eye there, but with mixing with some sleepy stuff. But I noticed the other day when I was talking on video, I always kind of hit the video and make sure the sound comes through and stuff. And then it plays while I do the sharing onto the platforms and stuff. And I started talking about something that I usually really gets me emotional. I don't remember if it was Vern or if it was something. But you know, you could tell that time heals type of thing. I think it was, I'm just trying to think differently right now. I'm trying to, was it harder, seemed harder to pull myself out of that time period? Like, does that make sense? Like now I feel like, and I'm not thinking too much about it right now, so it's emotionally getting to me right now because I'm thinking too much. But I'm doing this for helping myself even more. But it feels like I finally put that wall up and I moved on to another phase. Like, that was Vern and Dad. Now it's 2025. It's a different time. And it's more about what's in front as opposed to what's behind. Normally I don't have to think about it this long. Usually it's just gone like that. But it's good to think about it every once in a while. So, because that's, for me, like I said before, it's always very hard to, it was always very hard to me my whole life to enjoy the now, because I was always looking for what was next. Where and then when you have like passings and stuff, I found myself being pulled both ways, still not enjoying the moment. You're either thinking about the past or you're thinking about tomorrow. Like, I've never felt so in the moment before in my life. Like, even relationships growing up, I didn't enjoy them for the moment I was in. I always looked at it as like, okay, how is this person going to enhance my life, enhance my future, which is setting somebody up for a failure. But that's the way I always looked at things. Like, instead of enjoying it and building something at the moment, I was always 20 steps ahead of myself, tripping over everything. Where, like, now I've never felt so in the moment. Like, I control this type of thing. Because life's always felt so out of control for me. And I was just trying to figure it out, trying to get somewhere I didn't know where. Does that all make sense? I don't know. All right, first up, we got this Fat Guy Goes Nutsoid VHS tape. So for $12, headed to Portland, Oregon. I think you kind of saw it the other day on the Goofy video that I did. My mind was just, whatever came to my mind, I just went with it type of thing. And I was making all the funny to me jokes and stuff. Somebody said, "What's going on? He's being mad at God for not being able to be a cheerleader." See, that's funny. That cracked me up when I read that. Yeah, because it's weird. Because, like, growing up, I always, even with, like, most of the relationships, whether it was friends or girlfriends, I always kind of viewed them as a weight. Like, they were slowing me down. They were weighing me down. And I think that's, now that I look back on it, I think it's just because I didn't know where I was going. So how could they help me get to where I was going, right? And then the one who did try to push me to do things, I took it the wrong way and looked at it as I just wasn't good enough because she's trying to push me to do this and that, and I don't want to do this and that. So I always viewed everything skewed by being, by my mind being 12 steps ahead of where I was, yet where is 12 steps ahead? I have no clue. But it's out there trying to figure it out, and it's ruining the moments. Next up, we got another Genesis controller that sold. Sold for $12, headed to Wisconsin. I love self-analyzing. Especially when, I think it's always helpful, especially when you're going through stress and stuff. But I'm finding it very helpful when you're not going through stress, because you can give it serious thought. My stomach's making all kinds of noises. Because your mind's clearer. Like when you self-analyze when you're down, your mind's still so jumbled up with the problems or the situations. Where now it's more self-analyzing and go, okay, how can I make myself better? Am I better? If I'm not, what can I change to do so? Like, it's a lot more constructive. Which for me leads to a lot more creative moments, a lot more happy moments. Not just happy, but just like that video, just goofy, whatever, fun, just vomiting, vomiting goofiness or stupidity, however you want to look at it. Whatever way you look at it, it's funny to me at least. I always looked at things like, if it's funny enough to make me laugh, then that's all that really matters, right? If other people don't, everybody's humor is different. So we got this Climax 12-inch, sold for $5, headed to Dallas, Texas. Because everybody's in a different spot, when they're taking in that humor. So depending on their headspace, that determines if they're going to get that type of humor or not. But that kind of humor for me, I always got. For me, like Jim Carrey and just the over-the-top stupidity, goofiness. Pauly Shore back in the day. Just that little bit step over, you didn't know what could happen at any moment. Like, I love that stuff. So I always loved being able to vomit that energy, if you will. Like, if something popped in my head right now, I could just throw it into play and just like, if something I said triggered a moment or a thought or a scenario, I could just jump into that scenario and play through it like I did that day on that video. Yeah. And lastly over here, Star Wars, The Force Unleashed, PS2 disc only, needs resurface. So for $5, headed to Cathedral City, California. Julian. This is where I'm kind of headed with, like, what can I create next with, like, say, YouTube, right? So I'm starting to really make myself think the benefits that I might be missing out with YouTube from a creative standpoint. So I'm really starting to think, well, how can I use it to my advantage? What can I create with? I think that's one thing about having just a clear mindset. You can look at everything almost like through a new lens for me. Like, what have I been missing here? Like, how do I use this to its full, to my full advantage, if you will? Because that's another thing with me about when it comes to, sorry, this is a whole self-analyzing type of video, but the one of the problems about being 12 steps ahead of where I was is you miss a lot of stuff and you don't get to dive deep into stuff, so you just kind of breeze over things just to get by it. Where now I can like dig a little deeper into things and go, okay, let's try this. What's this? Read more about this. What can this do? What can this bring? Just get a little bit more deeper into things, because you're not just flying over them. Alrighty, so we're at 10:15. 156.60 plus 98.57. So 255 at 10:15. I'll take that. So yeah, sorry talking about me most of this video. Well, hey, never feel bad. Never apologize for talking about yourself. When you need to, or when you're trying to self-analyze, or when you're trying to better yourself, when you're trying cancellation request. This is what I've been doing with eBay, this cancellation request thing. When you cancel and you're at that step, I hit the question mark for feedback, and I go, please take all these ads off of my checkout. You are taking sales away from me and my family, and that's ridiculous. The number of cancellations that are happening because they found it cheaper is killing my business, blah, blah. I just go rip into it. So I'm going to wait and cancel that when I've got a moment to sit there and type that stuff, because I'm sick of it. We pay for a store, yet you're advertising other people's stuff on our pages, in our checkout, which is taking money out of our pocket. How many people add it to cart, see the cheaper thing, and don't even finish the checkout, just go to that cheaper thing when they were going to buy from you in the first place? We're promoting in order to get ahead of the other people, but then at checkout, they're not allowing us to stay ahead of the other people. It's counterintuitive for the seller. But anyway, so every time I cancel, I put that feedback in there. But anyway, yeah, never feel bad about self-analyzing yourself or thinking, because here's the thing. If you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else. You always have to put yourself first when it comes to being in a proper headspace, if you will, because it will come out on others. It will. Whether you think it is or not, it will affect other people around you. You can fake it all you want, but people can detect that. Kids can detect that. Make yourself whole, or at least work on yourself every moment you can. There's nothing selfish about selfishly healing, advancing, analyzing your own self. Because it just makes everything else better. you don't snap as much. You may not, or you may not snap at all. You may be able to handle those situations just a little bit better. Like Pee-wee having a seizure. All right, I'm done. I'm going to the post office. All right, kind of a short day today. So thanks everybody for hanging out, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.